Hi, it's me, Alex, a stay-at-home reader, and it's been a little while. I meant to come right back after my last video to discuss my summer reading plans, but I never did, and in part that's because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for summer reading. My plans have changed. I made a list of prompts to try to incentivize my kids. Every year we come up with kind of like our version of the public library summer reading plan, but this year it was kind of a flop, and the way I set it up did not incentivize the kids, partly probably because of their ages. Like, they just are not motivated to read at the moment, also because they have been very busy with baseball. And so in their own downtime, like, they're busy. Like, yes, baseball is a game, but I'm very proud of the commitment they've made to their teams, multiple teams for each of them. We're kind of winding down. One was a slow start, and then it was two at the same time, and now one is winding down and the other's still going. So like, our baseball schedule and busyness level is fluctuating. And so yeah, in their downtime they are swimming, playing wiffle ball, playing video games, just hanging out together. They've done a little bit of reading, but not too much. So our family summer reading plans kind of flopped. My personal attempts at summer reading, I just have not been enjoying what I thought maybe I would. So I've decided to mood read. And in that way, I don't really know how to make a video that's like, I have no idea what I'm gonna read. But I guess let's go over what I was looking for and what failed and what I'm hoping will bring it back together. So I love books set in New England. I am a New England transplant. I grew up in New Jersey, moved to Connecticut. My husband is from New Hampshire, and so Connecticut is like that good middle ground between like New Jersey and real New England. And then when we visit my in-laws, I get that real New England vibe. They're just different people up there. I don't know. The landscape of New England, we have woods and beaches and cities, small towns, not big cities, but you know, cities nonetheless. New England is an interesting place. There's a lot of history, a lot of heirlooms and traditions, and it's just, I'm fascinated with New England. So I love books that take place there, and that kind of captured the place and the people, like the people. I was looking for something spooky. I just saw a spider above my bed. Gross. A jumping spider. It's a decent size too. Speaking of spooky. Anyway, I wanted something spooky, something hot, something New Englandy. And I heard about this book, Looking Glass Sound, somewhere on YouTube, and saw it on a table at the library, and so went ahead and grabbed it. It is set in Maine. Last year I read The Midcoast on Karen's recommendation, set in Maine. Ended up going to spend a day in York, Maine, based on how much I loved that book. I love Maine. I need to go there more. Anyway, book is set in Maine in the summer. Perfect. Something about a serial killer. Excellent. Turns out, no, it wasn't. It was kind of a book within a book within a book, and a story, and someone writing a story, and someone writing a memoir, a fictional memoir, but then a nonfiction fiction, and like stealing manuscripts and their side of the story, their side of the story. There's a big time jump, and I just found myself not at all caring. So I think I got about 70% of the way through the audiobook. I ended up not even able to pick up the physical book. The audio was on script, and I didn't care. It just felt like it was going on and on and on without ever hooking me. So that was a flop. But then I realized, what is spookier and manier than Stephen King? So I think what I'm going to do is pivot from Catriona Ward to the man himself, Stephen King. I've never really been a big fan, but I recently picked up Cujo, even though it turns out I already had it on my shelves. And was it Misery? I think Misery. So I think I'm going to give Cujo a try as my summertime main thriller. What do you think? I think that'll hit that spot that I'm looking for. You know who did not help was ChatGPT. I was plugging in prompts like, what books set in summer New England, and it kept giving me back books. It kept saying like, well, not set in New England, the characters are from Massachusetts, and it's set in Europe. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. So ChatGPT was absolutely no help. But YouTube came in again with this recommendation. So I've hauled books since that last book haul that I said would be the last book haul. Yeah. I got a gift card, and then it was my birthday, so I bought books, and this is one of them, Sandwich by Catherine Newman. I first saw this on the channel Brett's Book Stacks, and immediately was like, yes, that. Forget the thriller. That's not my typical go-to genre. I like literary fiction. I like emotional family stories. This, I believe, set in Maine, if not Massachusetts. Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So this is a beach family, New England, tiny story. I'm super excited. I think this is going to rescue my summer reading. This right here. So that's coming up. So I'm going to try Cujo. I'm gonna try a sandwich. I also purchased James by Percival Everett. I just had my in-laws staying for the weekend, and so I was on an air mattress. There was a whole bed shuffling thing that happened, so I ended up on an air mattress. Couldn't sleep well. And I started listening to The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn so that I could go to this. I'm gonna have to start all over because I, while awake, was not absorbing any of Huckleberry Finn. From what I understand, this is not a retelling of Huckleberry Finn. It is just giving a character, Jim, from that book, his own story. So I don't really think it's necessary to get through Huckleberry Finn first, but knowing that they're connected, I feel like that's what I have to do. So I'm gonna try. I found a copy of the audiobook read by Robin Miles, who's an excellent narrator, and so I'm gonna give the audiobook another try, and then move on to James. I'm thinking this will also be good summertime vibes with the whole journey down a river thing, right? That's what they do. Okay, and then on my birthday, I share a birthday with one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces of all time. June 27th, 1986. The Labyrinth is released in theaters. Not The Labyrinth, just Labyrinth. No The. I always say The Labyrinth, but it's just Labyrinth. Jim Henson's Labyrinth, starring David Bowie and David Bowie's Bulge. So, on my birthday, I watched the movie. And then I thought, you know what? I've gotten birthday money. I got gifts from my parents and my in-laws. I'm going to buy this that I have wanted forever and never got around to. It is a novelization of the movie with illustrations from Brian Froud, who kind of did the character art, and then Jim Henson made the Muppets. So it has the sketch drawings of Brian Froud, also known for his fairy artwork. So adorable. I'm very happy to have this. And notes, I guess, the world building of Jim Henson himself. From what I've heard, the novelization is able to kind of give more full character motivations than you get in the movie. So I find that very interesting because, of course, as someone who's watched the movie about 28 million times, I've dissected the motivations of the characters. And so I think it will be interesting to just go a little bit deeper with the novelization. So while I was searching for this, I got the suggestion for the graphic novel collection, and I thought, I already have them all, thank you, but done. And then I realized, nope, there's another one. I guess this one I have, it's 3 volumes called Labyrinth Coronation, which is backstory. There's scenes drawn from the movie, and then there's backstory of Jareth that one of the goblins is telling the baby, oh my gosh, Toby, that one of the goblins is telling Toby as like a little bedtime story of how Jareth came to be there, and his mother in the role basically of Sarah trying to journey through the labyrinth to get her baby back. This one is apparently short stories of the characters from the movie. So some of the characters that are in the crystal ballroom scene when it shatters, I think it's some backstories of, yeah. So here they are in the ballroom scene. So it's kind of this people in the periphery of that scene getting a story. I think Sir Didymus, who's the little Yorkie who rides the sheepdog, I think it's his origin stories. Apparently it's not good unless you love the movie. And I love the movie. And so whether it's shit or not, it needs to be on my shelf with its friends. Let me show you. Hold on. Here are the other 3 books that were just complete indulgences. None of these are necessary. But I did enjoy the whole thing. This whole arc. I think it took me like a few times, like going through it to like really know what's going on. So the completionist I am when it comes to purchasing, not necessarily reading, I had to have this. Doesn't match, but had to have it. That's not bad for a book haul, right? It's only 4 things. There's plenty more I'm like itching to get my hands on, but I'm gonna get through that for the summer. I also have my book club read, which, as it turns out, is a book I already own that I actually got for Christmas this past Christmas and have been waiting for a reason to read. Hold on, I'll go get it. My book club read for July is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, one that I had to have immediately the second it came out. So it killed me just to wait for Christmas. And here we are in July, and I have not read it yet. Turns out that was a good call because now I can actually read it in time with my book club. I have heard only good things about this. Like, everyone loves this, and I am super excited. Okay, I did haul one more book, which I almost forgot about because I have it set aside to talk about as one of my current reads. On my birthday, Nate and Oliver took me into Barnes & Noble to pick out a book, and I grabbed Mood Swings by Frankie Barnett. And this is a pre-apocalyptic novel. Typically, we see post-apocalyptic, and this one is right there as it happens. It is following a young woman, early 20s, as things just kind of fall apart and everyone's just in a weird mood. And maybe it's just because of the environment. It's just the stress of all of the animals turning against people. And then, and then animals are like banished. I think they're like, someone invents this like sound emitter to like lure all the animals into a trap, and like so there are no more animals. And so it's just this weird society in which people, it's like a post-animal world and like how people are coping. So she's kind of taking advantage of people's desire for animal companionship, and she's exploiting that. Her roommate starts a relationship with this eccentric billionaire who says he's going to build a time machine to like go back and save humanity. It's giving Elon Musk. I am 80 pages into it so far, and it has a promise. I am still very intrigued, but it is very at a distance kind of writing that I need more of an emotional attachment that I am not quite getting. But it is at the same time very sharp and smart in its kind of call out of human nature, social media culture, just people blaming problems on different things. It's very smart, but a little bit too cold. But this cover, I absolutely adore. It reminds me of like the off-brand My Little Ponies that you would get at like the grocery store in the 90s. That's what this cover is making me think of. So I actually saw it on like a trip into Barnes and Noble when it's right across from my vet. So I had dropped my dog off for a whole thing. There was a whole thing, and wanted to kind of stay close by in case they called me to pick her up sooner than later. And so I popped across the street to Barnes and Noble and spotted this there. And then the following week when I got to do birthday shopping, I went right to it. So I've already started it. And the other thing I am currently reading very slowly, the autobiography of Malcolm X. I am definitely reading this a lot slower than I want to. First of all, because I've been busy. Second of all, it's not that I'm like ashamed of what I'm reading, but like there are times where, like, I'd rather no one make a comment on what I'm reading. Like, I just want to read in peace. So if I carry it with me to read somewhere in public, I'm kind of sneaking a few pages in. I don't feel like talking to people, and I feel like this is the kind of book that people would be like, oh, that you're reading that. Yeah, I am. So marking pages, also stopping to like underline things, but then the problem is that this is just the kind of book where you want to underline every sentence of every page, which kind of defeats the purpose of annotating it. So I'm trying to like control myself and just, stick a flag in especially insightful bits. So the foreword, written by his daughter, I found fascinating. Then the introduction is written by M.S. Handler, who had something to do with a documentary, I believe, or this is a reporter. So off the bat, the foreword and the introduction I found incredible. A lot of discussion about kind of reclaiming his legacy and fixing this idea that he was an aggressive, dangerous person. One of them, I believe it was the daughter, was writing about her father being included in part of the USPS like celebration of Black History like stamp collection, and what that meant, and what a change in the narrative of the legacy of Malcolm X, just having a government stamp with his face on it, how important that is in understanding him as a man, and not in infamy. Yeah, I just found that very interesting. So I am on the second chapter now of his actual autobiography part. Still dealing with, he just got to Boston, but prior to that, his family life and his mother being institutionalized, and he and his siblings being put into the foster system as wards of the state. And he's just a very smart man, and he makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to be working my way through this probably all summer. But that's it. Very rambly, but I wanted to get something out here and up on the tubes. So thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great summer. So far, so good. Lots of baseball. We'll be at the amusement park. We've got season passes this year, so I can entertain my new teenagers. Life was a lot easier when I could take them to the playground and the splash pad, but now it's amusement park and water park. So should get a lot of reading done in there, hopefully. I will check in again at some point. Oh, we have to go over my second quarter reading wrap up and my second quarter favorites. So hopefully I'll be back soon, but no promises. Bye.